Hi everybody, we're going to do a cutting video and a little chatty video today. I'll just get some gloves. So I've got 2 batches to cut this morning from Friday. It is now Bank Holiday Monday, so these have been sitting over the weekend, so it's high time we got these done. And first up we have the orangery, which is here. I'll bring you in a sec so you can see close-ups, but while we chat away I'll leave it zoomed out so you can actually see me, otherwise I just think it's weird watching somebody's hands all the time, like, because this isn't a making video, it's more like a chit-chat cutting video. We'll leave it out so you can actually see who is talking, and it's me. Okay, and this one is the Warrior. So the orangery is a nice sweet orange blend with like a cranberry, and the Warrior smells like an old ship. So it's got like it smells a bit like tarred rope and spices and amber and frankincense, and it's just lovely. It's one of my favourites for the summer. So let me just grab my cutter. So what has been going on? Okay, so coffee. Nothing much has really been, I need the other cutter first. Nothing much has really been going on. I've just been getting on with my work, which is helpful when you're feeling a bit crappy. Let me just bring you down a sec so you can see a bit of this at least. Okay, I'm gonna like chop the bit of my head off. Chop my head off. So here goes the orange. I'm just going to cut it into soap logs before we cut it into bars. So yeah, I've just been getting on with my jobs. I've been having still like some good days and some bad days. It's just the way that it is going to be for a while. But I'm having more good days than I am bad days now, which is always a good thing, or is a good thing. And I'm doing more learning and things like that, so I've been reading lots of books. Now, years ago I was on a mission to, well, not really a mission, but I decided to read a lot about spirituality and read a lot about different philosophy and things like that. And I got really into it when I was younger. And you know, like one book will lead to the next and to the next and to the next. And for several years I went on like that, just like a sponge, soaking up information that I was learning from like religious masters and non-religious masters, like spiritualists and things like that, and reading books written by people about like self-awareness, how to help yourself, like all about the journey of life really, and the journey of the self then. That's what I was really into in my 20s, and I put a lot of effort into learning and reading and all that kind of thing. And I carried on like that for quite a while, and I think it was just me trying to find myself, and also before I found Matt. So before I found happiness, like true happiness, I was obviously searching for it and didn't quite realise where it was or where I should be looking, and the truth is I shouldn't have been looking anywhere, because like happiness, first and foremost, is a state of mind, but also happiness is also, in my experience, finding somebody to share your life with that, you know, when you feel like you're supposed to be together. So finding somebody who feels like the right one then. And when I found Matt, I just fell like head over heels for him, and my life just became my life. I just became happier, you know, or happy actually. I didn't know where I was going, and when me and Matt got together I was like 20, 27, and I just fell in love with him completely, and fell in love with my life, and life started to take on new meaning. I'd been wandering through life quite aimlessly, and I was into taking drugs, and I was into doing stupid things, and you know, wondering what was wrong with my brain and why I wasn't happy some days, and why I couldn't go to work on a Monday, and all this kind of stuff. And I got diaries, like I said, I've got my diaries, and I've been reading back through a few of them, like, because in my last video, or a couple of videos ago, I'd said about writing a book because I got a lot of my sister's life in my diaries too. But upon further reflection, I've decided that maybe writing that book isn't such a good idea, you know, because I've already written it, and it's okay to go back and have a look at these things sometimes. But at the moment, I'm in a headspace where I'm still coping with the grief of loss, and I'm still trying to find my way, but I'm also becoming more aware of my spirituality again then, let's say. So at the moment, going back and looking at my life in that way, and starting a book to write about it, I'm just not in the right headspace for that at all. It's actually quite upsetting to go back and read about your, you know, like your experiences. It's like I've forgotten like how bad things were for me sometimes. This is the orangery. I'll bring you in a second. Yeah, so I wasn't having the best time of my life, and to go back into it and to see what I was actually doing, because I wrote everything, like I didn't hold back, I wrote everything down about what I was up to, and there's some really, just some crazy things that I've written that I was doing at home, and the drugs I was taking, and how much I was drinking. And this really, like, it was just weird, like, and then I sort of had this concern about myself reading it back, and then I thought, oh my Lord, you know, I could have so easily slipped down a really, really bad path then. And something obviously stopped me doing that. And I would say sense of self and self-worth. I didn't want to end up in the gutter, you know. I never wanted to end up in the gutter. And the main thing that kept me from doing more bad stuff was my grandparents, and the respect I had for them as people and what they'd been through in their life. It was just like, I know, like, you know, they'd gone through the war and lost friends and family, and the struggle, like, that we have no idea how bad that was. Like, we can only watch film or listen to people's accounts who can talk about it, because there's a hell of a lot that can't, you know, let's be honest. My grandpa couldn't talk about it because of what he'd seen, but it's like the respect I had for them made me have respect then for myself, and to not go down this path that everybody at the time was going down. It's like in my circle of friends, there's a lot of people that were dropping, you know, like dropping like flies into addiction, and I was hot on the heels of them in a way, and I sort of knew in the back of my head I wasn't going to be a drug addict or an alcoholic. I knew I was never going to, I was worthy of more, you know. And I think when you've got that in your head that you're worthy of more power to you, because you need it. There's people that don't have that slip into addiction further and further and further, because it's like they don't have a sense of self or a sense of wanting to live then, you know, like, or wanting to live a good life. It's like a form of self-punishment, I think, addiction in a way. It's just, and to try and drown out anything bad in your life is like, that's what addicts do. It's like a coping mechanism, but it's not a mechanism, it's a coping substance, you know? People take, like, have substance abuse because of problems in life. But just in my head, I knew my grandma was a very religious person, but just out of respect for her and my grandpa, I didn't want to ever go down a bad road then. So in the back of my head, I knew I was doing stupid things, but I knew it wasn't going to last. It was never going to be like, that was not going to be my life. I just knew it. And I was looking so, like, so much for that one person who I wanted to spend my life with, and without really realising that I was looking for somebody, you know. So anyway, Matt and I had known each other as little kids, and when I first saw him, or the vision I have in my head when I first saw him, there was something strange when I was a little girl. He's 4 years younger than me, so as a little girl, the thought that I had about him felt wrong, because it wasn't like sexual or anything like that. I mean, we're really going off on a tangent with this conversation, but I'll get to the point. So when I saw him as a little boy, he was on his skateboard, and he must have been maybe 8 or something like that, and I was about 12. So like, we've known each other a long time, and he used to live next door to one of my aunties. So I saw him, and something inside of my stomach just, it didn't do a flip like I was falling in love. It just did something. It was like I saw him, and it was odd. There was just something odd. Like, I looked at him, and I'll never forget this day as long as I live. I just looked at him and thought, like, I wanted to be around him, you know? Anyway, I mean, he was a little boy, and I was a little girl, but 4 years older. So as we grew up, every time I saw him, I always felt warm. And I mean, just like, even having him as a friend, like every time I saw him, I felt like he was solid and he was warm, and I wanted to be around him, you know? And that's from a really young age. And I was with somebody else before I got with Matt. I never had many relationships because I wanted fun. I was hanging around with all the boys, all the skateboarders, and there was nothing ever sexual in that. I was having so much fun just hanging out with all the lads. And yeah, that was all I ever wanted to do. I just loved hanging out with the boys, because the girls were always catty or bitchy, and they still are sometimes. Until you grow right up, it's like you have to deal with that quite a lot, you know, even through your 20s. Like, people are still catty, and I didn't want to be around girls much when I was growing up. So I knocked around with all the boys, and, you know, Matt was in that circuit, so every time I saw him, we always had a really good laugh. But yeah, little did I realise, really deep down, that he was the one. until it just happened. And it happened at a time where I was looking to change my life and get away from drugs, and get away from people that were taking drugs. And I mean hard drugs. I mean like crack and heroin. You know, I didn't want to be in those circles anymore, and the people were making me angry and making me feel like you're all living a bad life. I don't want to live a bad life. I want to be respected in the world, not looked down upon. This is another thing. Like, if you're a drug addict, most people don't realise that it's an affliction, and that you're struggling, and it really, you're finding life very, very hard in addiction. It's horrible, horrible, horrible thing. But regardless, you're going to be judged for being an addict. Let me lift up a few of these just so you can see the actual soap. I think it's just turned into chat time on this channel, but we are actually cutting soap. So there's the orangery. I'll bring you in afterwards. It's just, I want to get all this off my chest because it's nice to have a chat, and I know that lots of you enjoy listening to me chatter on about stuff, you know? I'm just going to see how much time we've got left on this one. Okay. Okay, so yes, Matt comes along, and we were frightened when we first got together. We chatted about how we felt, and there was like a bit of a matchmaker situation. So one of our mutual friends had realised that we should have been together, you know? So it took a while for it to actually happen. I think I was trying to sort my life out, and I'd gone to college and gone to learn business and gone to learn computing. This is back in the 90s, you have to, not the 90s, this is, yeah, late 90s. So I started changing my life already. I'd gone to college and started this computer course so that I could understand how to use computers in business and things like that. So I'd already set the ball rolling then. And then, I must tell you this bit, I went through my diary a couple of days ago, and I got to a bit 2 days before Matt and I actually got together. There's this bit in the diary where I've written about a light coming into my bedroom. This is going to maybe sound quite strange, but maybe not. There was a light coming into my bedroom one early morning. It was like 5 o'clock in the morning, and there was a golden light throughout my bedroom. And like, bear in mind, a couple of things had happened between me and Matt. Not like anything serious, but there was a feeling like it's going to happen. You know, we are falling in love with each other then. And yeah, there was this light in my room, and it was just weird reading it back. I was thinking, oh my God, I wonder if this, you know, is like a sign. But my whole bedroom filled with golden light. And I'd written it down, and it had made such an impact on me. I'd like got out of bed to look more at the sky, and it was just incredible. It was just incredible. And 2 days later in the diary, it's just a great big heart where Matt and I probably kissed for the first time or something like that. We certainly didn't jump into bed with each other. I was never that kind of a girl, you know. So yeah, there's some strange things, and it's like looking back, it's like we definitely were supposed to be together, you know. We definitely were supposed to be together, and I'm just so thankful for him. I just am. Like, when you find somebody, that's what I'm saying, like when you actually find love and you find somebody that can save you from yourself, you know, that's how it feels with Matt. Like, he doesn't know all of this because I haven't told him, but maybe he does deep down inside. I think we probably saved each other, because he was another one, like he'd lost friends to drugs, or, you know, not deaths in drugs, but friendships through drugs. So we got together, and we've been together now for 19 years this August, and I didn't realise quite how much I had to thank him for then. And I'm not going to get emotional because I'm not in an emotional state today, but there's, yeah, this thing inside of me where I'm just like, I'm just so thankful for him coming into my life. And he was there from the very beginning as a young girl. It's just weird, you know. Then it made me realise that the world has things planned for you, or, you know, you planned it all yourself already. I don't know, people don't come into your life for, like, by mistake then, you know. I think it all happens because it's supposed to, and that'll take me on to another topic that we might discuss in the next video about, what was I watching? It's something about coming into this life and knowing what we're going to go through. And I've been researching that, so I'll talk about that next time. I just need to check this video, make sure we're not running out of time. I've got 4 minutes left, so I'll just yabber on for another 4 minutes and then I'll turn it off, because there's 20 minutes allowed on this camera. So yeah, I've been learning more then. Now I'm happy, and it's all sorted in my head about Matt and me getting together, and how things were supposed to be, and how things were, you know, like why he's in my life and why we feel exactly the same about certain issues. Not everything, but a lot. Music tastes. I mean, it's all pretty mundane stuff, this bit, but there's just something, there's just a connection between us both that was supposed to happen, and I'm just grateful, that's all. I just wanted to get that out there, because it's funny how life worked out, you know, and from a young age I got that gut instinct about him. Weird, just weird. Anyway, so yeah, I was watching this video about before we come into this life, because I do believe that we've maybe lived before. I think that a lot of us have lived many lives, but I think before we come into life, maybe we have a plan for ourselves, and I've been learning about that through people on video, on YouTube, and people who, not necessarily confirming it, because who the hell knows, we don't know till we die and maybe get our answers and that kind of thing, so we shouldn't dwell on this too much, but it's, I want to know stuff. I know I'm never going to know certain things until I pass, but through people's experiences and that kind of thing, you can learn bits, and it just can help with the grief process, you know. So if you believe that maybe you've planned this out before you actually came, and I do believe that your circle is supposed to be together, so whoever's in your circle that you feel very close to, I think we're all supposed to be together. It's like we're a collective of people that's supposed to be together, up there and down here, and everything in between. And I think that yes, maybe we all agreed to how things would pan out. And you might think I'm going crazy here, but I'm really not. But yeah, I'll talk about that more in the next video because I'd like to, you know, see what people think. Anyway, here's the warrior. So this is like a yellow. I'll leave pictures at the end so you can see all of these. But yeah, I just wanted to come on and have a chat really because it's been a couple of weeks. So I'll talk about more of this stuff in the next video and have a good day. See you later.